What's up guys, it's Collin Coates from Built2Wander. I'm out here with our 3rd gen Raptor build with long travel suspension. We're at an off-road park here in Colorado and the weather's finally getting warmer. Winter's finally on its way out, which gives us a chance to get this thing out in the dirt and do some high-speed off-road testing. Something we haven't had much of a chance to do yet. We're super excited to talk through kind of this long travel suspension system from Evil Off-Road, identify the parts and components that make this kit unique, and then show you firsthand just how well it works out here at high speeds. Before we do that, like this video, subscribe to the Driving Line channel, and let's get after it. Before we get started with some off-road testing, we're gonna go ahead, air down our 37-inch Nitto tire trail grapplers, make for a smoother, more comfortable, plush ride off-road. Then we're gonna dive into the long travel kit from Evil Manufacturing, talk about the components that make it stand out, what differences there are between a long travel and a mid-travel kit, and the benefits you receive off-road. And then from there, we're gonna go out, do some high-speed testing, share our impressions of just how well this thing performs. So let's get after it, have a good time out here. So now that we have a chance to get our 3rd gen Raptor out off-road and do some high-speed testing, I wanted to revisit the long travel suspension system that we have underneath it and start by talking about what travel is to begin with, the differences between a mid-travel suspension kit and a long travel suspension kit, and then ultimately why we went long travel. So travel is often defined by the amount of inches the wheel will move from center line going up and down. In our case, we've got a long travel suspension kit up here. We've got 19 inches of travel versus a stock 3rd gen 37-inch edition Raptor with 13 inches of travel. Why does longer travel make a difference? The longer the shock, the more time the shock has to dampen or react to uneven terrain, transferring less of that harshness to you or the occupants inside, creating a more smooth and comfortable and overall predictable ride. So when we're talking about mid-travel to long travel, a mid-travel kit is oftentimes less intensive than a long travel kit. It's a lot cheaper to purchase and install, and generally it requires a aftermarket upper control arm and a longer shock. The long travel kit is much more intensive, and that's what we've gone and put underneath our 3rd gen Raptor. The reason we did that was we really wanted to be able to push this thing past its limits from the factory and go faster through uneven terrain off-road, and so far it's proven that it's capable of doing that. So we talked a little bit about what suspension travel is and why that matters, and we talked a little bit about the differences between a mid-travel and long travel kit. So now I wanted to really identify the components in the Evil Manufacturing suspension system that make up their long travel kit. So starting with the lower control arm, we've got a wider, beefier lower control arm that our coilover and bypass shock from Bilstein mount to. We also have an upper control arm that's wider as well, which the two contribute to the wider overall track width. Now our upper control arm is the J-arm style versus oftentimes in other kits you may see an A-arm. That's what makes the Evil Manufacturing suspension system pretty unique up here. In addition to that, we've got a spindle that connects the lower and upper control arm to the hub assembly. We've got a wider tie rod, a wider CV axle, limit strap, and then of course our Bilstein coilover and bypass shock. And those components on each side for this IFS front suspension system make up that long travel kit. And the beauty of having a coilover and a bypass shock is that you can independently tune both compression and rebound depending on the terrain that you're going through. So, you know, if we're out in Baja, we may tune the suspension differently than if we're here in Colorado, depending on, you know, the size of bumps and the different types of terrain that we're actually going through. Moving on to the rear, to achieve long travel back here, we actually did a cantilever style suspension system from Evil Manufacturing. So this is really a true 5-link suspension kit. We've got upper and lower control arms, as well as a panhard bar. And then instead of mounting the shocks vertical, to be able to fit a longer shock and get that long travel, You know, a lot of times you'll see people cut the bed and mount the shocks in the back of the bed. What we did instead was mounted the shocks parallel to the bed, which allowed us to mount them up inside without cutting the bed, getting rid of any of that prime real estate that Derek uses for a spare tire, gas can, dirt bike, etc. With that cantilever setup, we're still running a coilover and a Bilstein 9200 series bypass. So we've got all the adjustability we want with the suspension, and we're getting 22 inches of rear wheel travel versus 14 in stock. So 8 more inches of travel in the rear, 6 more inches of travel in the front, all while sitting only a ½ inch taller from the suspension is, in my mind, pretty impressive and what makes this Raptor such a beast. So we did a little test over some whoops going 20 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, and then 60, 70 miles an hour just to see the difference in suspension. So what you'll find, especially with long travel, is the faster you move through those things, the more comfortable the ride gets because the vehicle actually floats on top of the whoops instead of going in between them. And that's really where you want to be as far as speed going through whoops. And so Derek's driving, I've been filming, and he's going to take me through these whoops going what, 60, 70 miles an hour?
We're gonna go as fast as we can.
So we're gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna film it, and here we go.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh, dude. Oh my God. All right, that is insane. Holy shit. Oh my gosh, I thought we were gonna die.
So that's Collin's first time ever actually riding in here and hitting whoops. And actually his first time, I think, off-roading this at all. So I kind of wanted to give him a little scare there. But yeah, I think we hit that about 65, 70 and
come into the corner just roosting. Oh my Lord, that was insane. I'm blown away at just how comfortable this thing was. Like it probably looked violent because I'm holding the camera with one hand, and but it felt incredible. I'm honestly shocked at how much control Derek was able to maintain going through the whoops. Like, wow. That was a lot of fun. Now I might take over and drive, but I probably won't push it that hard.
Well, now it's my turn in the passenger seat, so let's see how Collin does it.
Here we go. That's insane. This truck should not be able to do that. I'm pretty sure we just jumped like a 9-foot section of whoops. Whoops.
Well, I think I might need a new truck.
Epic day out here on the trails in Colorado with Derek's 3rd Gen Raptor. Really our first time getting to push this thing in the dirt and see just how capable it is off-road. So Derek, tell us a little bit about some of the things we did today with the truck, some of the speeds we hit, and just your overall impressions of how well it performs out here.
Yeah, so I'm absolutely blown away with how the truck is performing, and it's blowing my mind at how good it actually is. So today we hit a jump going about 75 miles an hour, and then we went and hit some whoops around the same speed. So, and I wasn't expecting to actually hit that fast today, but the truck is taking it. The Bilstein shocks are absolutely incredible. I mean, as fast as we want to go, it will take, and the shocks are just, it feels like you're riding on a cloud.
Yeah, so I was pumped to just see the thing work and to know, how much time and labor went into building this truck, and to be able to finally test it. I mean, I rode shotgun with Derek going through sections of whoops at 70 miles an hour. I was scared for my life because I had no idea how comfortable and well-mannered a truck could be at that fast in this uneven terrain. And then myself jumping in, driving it myself for the first time, it was just a blast. I mean, dude, I had so much fun. So appreciate you guys following along. Drop us a comment below. Let us know your thoughts on the truck. If you have any questions about suspension modifications for your own Raptor. And as always, hit the like button if you did and subscribe if you haven't. Until next time, wander on.
Thanks for watching Driving Line. If you guys like this video, consider subscribing to our channel so you'll never miss any of the content we create here. Whether you're into trucks, Jeeps, imports, domestic vehicles, or anything in between, we are here to fuel your passion. So hit that subscribe button and we'll see you guys next time.